on here, not only our guest. I see lots of those. I see all time zones actually right now. Little bit of housekeeping. Yes, I know we missed our call 2 weeks ago. My guest had a last minute cancellation, and so I decided to punt that. Today's call will be great. We have Brady Yeager on. I'm going to introduce him in a second. Just a little bit of housekeeping. If this is your first time on the call, all of these calls are turned into audio podcasts. You can find them at the Big Joel Show on YouTube. You can also find them on my website at bigjoel.com. You can find them Facebook. We are streaming live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube right now. So I know we have a bunch of people watching there. I am not monitoring the chat on this call. So if you have your camera on and we do have time for it, we can take a little bit of Q&A, but this guest is very findable and is very personable, so you can reach out direct to him as well after the call. We do have a couple of new crush groups starting in December, which is actually a really cool time to start. If you need information on that, that is on the site. And of course, we have Crush Forward. Anyone here that's been in a Crush group, that's an elite group only for Crush Group graduates. That's actually one of my favorite groups right now because everybody is game on. So welcome. It's already November 13th. It feels like it was January a day ago. We have had a pretty incredible year. People that have been around forever are basically saying, well, it's basically 1990. If you've been around that long, regarding inventory, amount of loans, and very quickly amount of loan officers in the business, since I think, Brady, you might have the stats, but I think we're down at least 40% of tapped already. More tapping. Agents are around 40% as well. They're having to pay their E&O right now, and they're having to pay their yearly dues, and they're just tapping on that. They're just out, which is really cool. So I know it's a trying market. I got a great guest on today. Not currently originating loans, but has originated lots of loans and runs production for a massive company. So we'll have a great conversation. Today, I've got Brady Yeager. Brady, I'll probably say it wrong. I always use the word chief. It's probably wrong, but National Sales Director, National Chief Cook and Bottle Washer, National everything rolls up to him regarding sales at Movement Mortgage. Brady, how long you been in the business, Brady? You've been around for a little bit, huh?
22 years.
22 years. And Brady is a West Coast guy, Seattle, correct?
Yeah, born and raised in Queens, New York, but I live in Seattle now.
There you go. Queens. How long were you in Queens for?
Till like high school.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. You're not really a Seattle guy, man.
I still go back and forth.
You're a Queens guy. Anyone that's been to Queens knows that's one of my favorite places to eat. I think every restaurant of every nationality is available in Queens, which is awesome. So Brady runs production for Movement Mortgage, which is one of the big 5 IMBs. And I've had a lot of those people on recently running the different big 5 IMBs. So welcome, Brady. I want to try to keep our time right on to a half hour because he is extremely busy. Brady, tell us first of all, what are you seeing the best loan officers either in your group, in your world, or even, that you're recruiting? What are some of the things you're seeing the best LOs doing right now very consistently from your bird's eye view?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I know you guys all know that. First of all, thanks for having me on, Joel. You guys leading up to this, I said, Joel, do you want to prep me at all? He's like, nope, we're going right in cold. So I'm excited for today. I hope, that leads to a real conversation. We can talk about anything you guys want to, Q&A. I'm excited to be here today. So thanks. I would say that the LOs that I'm talking to and the ones that have been with me, I've got a group here in the Northwest. We've been together for most of us 10, 15, up to 20 years. So it's a long-term group. And I would tell you, in that group, we've got probably 20, $100+ million producers, and they are just going back to the basics, right? I've got a guy who did, 280 million 2 years ago, and he's doing open houses. He's, going to every closing. I mean, he's doing all the things that he initially did when he first started getting into the business. And it's interesting to watch LOs. They're either frozen and they're too entitled, honestly, to go back and do those things. But it's the ones that are actually just saying, I'm going to dig deep, I'm going to go back to the basics and just execute on these tangible plans with very clear metrics. Those are the ones that I'm seeing that are being successful.
And they're not scared, no attitude. You use the word frozen, man. I cannot tell you how many frozen loan officers and frozen agents that I've been talking to in the past 6 months that are literally sitting around complaining. These are the ones that probably bought 3 Airbnbs and a Corvette on their 2021 money and are now basically completely freaking out. And it's not, you don't need to freak out, but you do have to do something. I was telling actually, I was telling Pete at lunch today, I said, the best loan officers in the country are completely dug in and are on the street. And so you're competing. If you're sitting around on your hands calling a ambulance, you're like, wah, there's no business. Yeah, our rates are high. Our ups suck. Whatever. There's other hitter loan officers literally out taking your relationships literally right now. They're literally on the street walking in to sit down with or standing in an office you've been in or at an open house completely dug in. So I'm glad to hear you saying that, Brady. And I wrote down entitled. What a great word. I mean, Brady, tell me what you think, because you've been around long enough. I think if you got into business after 2003, you have seen rates dropping and home prices go up, with the exception of 07, 08, 09, the debacle, the 80-20 LIDOC debacle. With the exception of that, that's all you've seen. So pretty easy to be entitled getting in this market, right? Yeah. You got to raise every year. And it was pretty easy to not even think about locking a loan or worry about it when you're pre-qualifying to 3.5, right? Or even 5, before. Brady, anything else you're seeing? How about creative? These guys, besides digging in, what else are they embracing? What are they all over?
So there's a couple things, and I love this one because people are reinventing themselves, but doing it in very simple and tangible ways, right? Not going after the shiny objects, but there's some things out there that we can look at that are key things that aren't as impacted by what's going on in the market. And it's kind of like, the market is there, you guys. We have to figure out how to work around it and how we react to it. And so what we've been trying to do is focus in on several things, such as reverse, right? I know not everybody has a reverse outlet, but it is going to be a product that continues to grow. We're having our loan officers use it as a value prop to just go out and basically build referral sources and then drive that business into a centralized team. But it's a great product right now. It still brings in good revenue for the company, so you can subsidize other areas. So I think finding other areas that aren't as impacted by rate, and that's more of a lifestyle sell. It's not a rate sell. And so reverse is one of them. Builder is the other, right? Going back to builder, it's amazing to me how many LOs don't have a builder that they're working with. When I ask the LOs in our meetings, they raise their hand, maybe 15% have a builder, which if you look at the inventory shortage, 5.5 million, depending on who you talk to, what analysts you listen to, and getting worse, right? We'll still go backwards this year in the inventory. And so I think having those builder relationships, having the resources like Zonda is a great resource I'd recommend that everybody use if you don't have it. And just really building a network around builders and understanding.
Brady, go. What's Zonda? Tell them all what it is.
It's a builder platform, like basically a database for builders. You can go in and log in and find every builder in your market. You can drill down to see what loan officers they're working with for their takeout. So if they only use a bank, you can pair up as a secondary lender for them, or you can use it for recruiting if you're a manager as well, looking for builder LOs. And then lastly, it has a ton of information just around industry knowledge that you can send out to builders. So it's a great platform. If you haven't checked it out, go ahead and you can just Google it, Zonda, ZONDA. But that would be the second one. And then I would tell you guys the third thing, Joel, and I've been harping on this at Movement. So the guys that are on here that know me know I've been harping on this, is servicing. So if you're fortunate enough to have a lender or you're at a lender that retains servicing, you should be absolutely doing those annual loan reviews, getting in front of your borrowers, telling them, look, I'm going to call you when rates hit 5.5, where it's beneficial enough for you to actually go through the refinance process. If you're not doing those things right now, when you have this much bandwidth, it's crazy to me. And I promise you, if you go ask your loan officers, or if you ask yourself, are you ready for rates to come down? The answer is going to be no. I don't know anybody that's ready. And you think we would be ready, right? With all the time we have, but annual loan reviews is a great way to do that, right? If you have your servicing retained, take advantage of that, get in front of it, right? And so your borrowers know who to call when the rates come down. And in that, when you're doing those calls, you might find the opportunity for a reverse, or for a rehab loan, or for a HELOC, right? That's where it's just so important. You work 10, 15, 20 years to build these referral sources and these borrowers. And then you just let them just be attacked by other aggregators that are buying those loans. And Joel, I know we'll talk about this because I know you'll bring it up. When you are already getting 120 basis points, and you have an aggregator who's going to pay a DTC team like 30 basis points, that's going to be a tough sell. So I mean, the more the relationship you're going to build it's going to have to be a strong one to get through that when the rates come down. So
And
those
that's
are the three things I'd focus on.
Yeah, that was reverse. Not reverse. Other alternative products to talk about. Sexy products. Reverse was an example. Builder and Zonda and servicing. But by the way, you don't have to have servicing to do an annual review. Brady,
Totally.
I don't know if we talked about this, but we came up with that mastermind group. I don't even want to say when it was. It was in the 90s, but I was only 3 years old. The annual review. Brady, I don't know what you think about this, but I think when we have another refi market, whether you have servicing or don't have servicing, it doesn't even matter. I think the lenders that are servicing loans are going to be so good and so fast on those refis that if you're sitting around waiting to pick off a bunch of refis so you can buy another Airbnb or another Corvette, I don't think they're going to be there like you think unless you're doing this work right now, because they are going to be mauled by their servicer, no matter whether your company services and even hands you the loan back. But there could still be another loan officer involved. I don't know, Brady. I think they're going to be moving very fast.
It's going to be probably the most competitive market I think we've ever seen for those refis. Really,
it's going to be like, give me $250 and sign your name here and you're done.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy. So if you're sitting around going, the refis will come back and that's how I'll do my 30 million. I think that's a very bad plan. Personally.
Totally agree with you.
What are you seeing, Brady? I'm seeing a push for, obviously companies are still getting as lean as they can get. I know that like loan officer comp is an issue. I just want to put it out there for you all so you all can hear this. By the way, this has nothing to do with Brady's company. This is just in general, and Brady is running production for a big IMB, so he's dealing with this all the time. You can't get paid 120 basis points, do 80% conventional, and take 150 basis point PE on every loan. By the way, that math doesn't work, people. So if you're not pricing better through this market or being realistic, I think you've got a big glass of ice water coming your way. And I hate to even talk about this on a call like this, but I'm proud of everyone that's on this call. But you should be very cognizant what you're doing there. Brady, I'm sure you're hearing that's buzzing all over, right? Because it's straight math. Just the math doesn't work. Correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys, and you all know this, but I did want to hit on one thing real quick. Just Joel.
Sure.
I know all of you that are on this call, you should be proud of yourselves, because I know Joel just shoots it straight. So if you're willing to take that all in and listen to this like real talk, I think that's kudos to you. I know a lot of loan officers that don't want to hear it, but kudos to you guys for being on here. I would totally agree with you, Joel. I think when you look at the margins, what have margins done in the last 2 years? Come down, 200 basis points, right?
A lot.
The cost of a loan done. It's gone up double, triple sometimes. So when you look at that, it just doesn't work. The only thing that hasn't come down is comp, because none of us want to touch it, right? Everybody's afraid to touch comp, right? I talk to other CEOs out there and everybody's in the same boat. And so it's a tough conversation that nobody wants to have, but eventually I do think it's going to slowly come down. You're starting to see these, call them, service loans or corporate source loans, whatever you want, with these comp buckets that people are using to take reduced comp to improve pricing. That's one big thing you're seeing. But I think that it's going to be something that we can't avoid, and we're going to have to talk through it. It's just no other way around it. And so I think the simple math, like you said, is you got to just kind of ask yourself, if you can make 120s, that's okay. You just have to be able to sell it, right? You have to be able to afford this structure that you have as a team and be able to sell it, because when you take those PEs, I think the average right now is the cost. I think the last Stratmore email I saw was like 13.8, the cost to do a loan. And I think on average, most lenders were losing like $2,000, $2,500, $2,200 per loan. I mean, that's just crazy, right? We've never seen that before, you guys. So I can promise you, as an LO, like I would never want to touch comp. Like, I get it. I love doing loans, and I came from a company that I built with two other guys, and we sold it. It retained servicing there. Then I went to Caliber. We all retain servicing there. And now at Movement, we retain servicing as well, so that's like ingrained in me. And I think you're going to have to really rely on those relationships more than ever. So like Joel said, I would get your arms around your databases, whether you retain servicing or not. Really try to just build that relationship, especially if your comp is still at that 100 to 120, 130. It's going to be a battle. You guys,
Brady, what I'm seeing in larger markets, people doing mainly conventional is, stuff where you've got, maybe you're at 78, 80 basis points with a 3,500, $4,000 comp camp. But let me tell all you guys, ladies and gentlemen on this call, some of the best loan officers in the country have called and lowered their comp. They want every loan. They don't care. They want market share. They literally don't care. They're going to take those loans from you, and they'll worry about comp later when their competition is out of business and they are not. That's literally the way they're thinking. Brady, mindset. Talk a little bit about mindset. I know you're a positive guy who's under immense amounts of stress. I can tell from when you text me back, meaning what time it is. Mindset. What do your mornings look like? What do you do to stay in the right mindset? What are some of your best LOs you're seeing them do in the morning? Or, I think a lot of loan officers right now, we're basically therapists for our agent partners because they're having a very hard time. And, a lot of loan officers, just to sort of tee this question up to Brady, they don't understand that this is actually their job. They thought their job was taking a phone call, locking in a loan at 3.5 and going to play golf. I mean, that's what they thought their job was. Oh, wait, sorry. Throwing it at an LOA who threw it at another LOA who threw it at another junior LOA to really do your whole job for you and then go play golf. Okay. All those LOAs are gone. They're not even working at your company anymore. And now every loan, I love when people are like, Brady, I love this. Joel, all the loans are hard. I'm like, wrong. All the loans are normal. These are normal loans. You just had layups before, like you're missing the whole. Ed Brem's on here. He's older than me, Brady, so I can give him a hard time all the time. I mean, this is normal loans.
Yeah.
But these are technically hard loans because the loan officers had to work. So how are they getting through? How are they pushing through about that mental, like, wow, every loan is that much harder? What are they doing with their partners that you're seeing? And then share what you do, in the morning, what you do to make sure you don't go crazy every day.
Yeah, guys, I think that question's never been more important than right now. And I'm sure you guys are all feeling that as well. And the last numbers I saw, Joel, where I think it was non-bank LOs was like 189 and it went to 90. I think they're thinking by the end of Q1, we're going to be down under, 60,000 or less. I mean,
that's good.
Exactly. And that's a good thing from the standpoint of those who make it through it. So that's one thing, is looking at what's coming, right? There is a light at the end of the tunnel on this. If you do things right, you prepare yourself to retain your book and to serve up scoop up all of that, market share that the other loan officers exiting is going to produce. So that would be one thing I would say, is focus on the positive that is coming, because this isn't going to last forever. It's a moment in time, right? I think we get spun out really easily. The loan officers that I've seen that are exiting the industry, it's kind of two-pronged. Some are just spinning out and they just can't handle the stress, and some are exiting, like retiring. There's a lot of LOs retiring. I would say if you see someone that's retiring or close to someone, don't let their book just fizzle out. Figure out a way to team up with them. Get a junior on there if you're a manager, and make sure you guys keep that book alive. That would be another thing. And then on a personal level, I'm big into, just mindset, quotes, getting up, journaling, if that's what works for you, working out, if that's what works for you, meditation, if that's what works for you. It's never been more important, like mental health for yourself. If you can't keep yourself together, you're not going to be able to keep your people together. And if you can't compartmentalize all the stuff that we deal with on a daily basis before you walk into your house to see your family, you're going to affect your home life as well. So for me, Joel, it's like I do 20 minutes in the morning, I do 20 minutes at night before I go home. And it's just level setting, kind of restarting myself so I can be present state of mind with my kids and my wife when I come in. And then same thing before I come into work. It's game time. I'm usually in here by 6:30, and it's all business. And just trying to take care of everybody, because I know how hard it is right now. So, and I think you're right. We are therapists, and we're the glue that holds it together. You know, the loan officers are the glue that hold the whole transaction together, underwriters to borrowers and processors and team members. So it's a tough job we have. It's very emotional with a lot of people. So I think state of mind, if you're not aware of it, come up with a routine for yourself in the morning. You know how many people I ask when I'm coaching them, Joel, I go, tell me your day. When does your day start? And like, I get in around 9:30. I'm just like, okay, we have a problem, right? Like you got to get up early, you got to get your routine and have just a consistent traction, and so you can create that consistency, which will create big results over time. So please, I would say, if you don't have that balance right now, come up with a routine. I've got a bunch of them. There's tons of books out there. If you guys want to email me, I have a few that I do that I like, but I would say that would be the number one thing I would do is get some balance right now. Make sure you get your state of mind before you come into the office.
And let me tell you, those of you that know me well know I'm with agents every week. I'm somewhere in the country with agents and usually a loan officer that I work with one-on-one. And I will tell you, I've never in my career heard more from agents than right now regarding quality of the loan officers on their transactions. They are officially, everyone, done. I've heard these words no less than 50 times. Joel, I don't care if the person's my next door neighbor. I don't care if we go to the same house of worship. I don't care if we're in the same country club. I don't care if our kids are on the same soccer team. I'm done. I am only working with professional LOs that know what they're doing. Literally, I'm done. So those of you that have been cruising through half-assed, it's over. Okay. Hopefully none of you all are on this call today, but I'm letting you know it's game on right now. If you're acting like a professional, and by the way, those things that Brady just talked about a little bit, you just can't keep it together all day unless you're working on keeping it together. I mean, I know that sounded weird, but you just can't. And these agents, they need you. Our agent partners need you so bad right now. Every transaction is wacky somewhere, and they really, really, really need us. And they finally are figuring out, wow, that loan officer is not a good LO just because he or she hung a sign around their neck and said loans are here and locked in people at 3%, threw a loan into a system with 19 LOAs and it closed. Okay, that they're over it. They're done. And by the way, this is at every company everywhere. This has nothing to do with any specific company. I'm telling you, they're done. You guys know I work with some of the best real estate agents in the business, and this is exactly what they're telling me. So if you don't have yourself balanced and you don't have yourself together and under control, I mean, if you're an emotional wreck, if you're one of those loan officers posting crap on social media, oh, the rates went up again. Every time I see a loan officer do that, I want to call them and just beat them over the head with a phone. Okay, why would you be doing that? Why would you be getting people more upset than they already are? It's completely crazy. So Brady, I'm really glad to hear you say that. Let me ask you another question. Brady, if you're in the business, you got in the business in 19, you sniffed around a little, you did a couple of deals, maybe 18, 19, you did pretty good. Boom, came into 20, here comes COVID. Everyone freaked out for 60 days and wore hazmat suits, thought about selling cars, and then kaboom! Probably the biggest market we've ever seen, bigger than the 80-20 debacle, bigger than anything. People way out over their skis, buying Airbnbs, Corvettes, just being dumb everywhere, and then full halt. Okay, these are people, Brady, that don't even have the skill sets you were talking about at the beginning. They've never seen them. Maybe their branch manager doesn't even have them. Maybe their branch manager can't even teach them. What would you be doing right now if you were closing, 9, 10 loans a month a couple of years ago or a year and a half ago, and now you're barely closing one? You no longer have an LOA. You no longer have anything. You got to do it yourself. You barely know what you're doing. Just a couple of tips to dig in. What would you tell those people?
Yeah, I mean, I think first off, it's just mindset, a lot of it, right? They have to just accept that, like you said earlier, they had it way too easy before, right? And I think if you look at it and go back and then really just try to accept that, hey, look, if you would ask somebody, saying, I'm going to give you the best 2 years of your career, and then you're going to have a tough 2 years after that, I guarantee everybody would have signed up for it, right? But now that the reality of doing the work is here, so I think they just have to accept it. We're here now. You got to dig in deep. You got to go back to the basics. And if, you have those LOs, or if you're one of those LOs, I would say go back to some of these pros that have been in it for 20 years and ask, what are you doing? What are the basics?
20 years, keyword, not 10 years, 20 years.
That's a different LO that's been in it for 20 years. You made all those mistakes in 08 already and learned from them. So you saved the second time around. But and I really think that this industry is not that complicated. It's tactics, and it's doing things consistently and doing them well, right? And so I would say I'd go back to them and just get them on a very structured system. I always find like 90 days is the mark. I find if you can do 10 calls a day for 90 days, or come up with whatever your routine is and hold strong for 90 days, that'll create enough momentum for you where you can get things going. So like right now, it's perfect time to get them on like a 30, 60, 90 plan going into next year, so they can give them some momentum, give them some light at the end of the tunnel. Otherwise, they're going to be one of those statistics. They're not going to make it. And it's that simple, right? Dig deep, do the work, find a good mentor, find a good coach. We all need coaching. We all need mentors. I've got the people I call when I'm frustrated or when I need another kick in the ass. So it's important to have that person.
Yeah, it's what I'm finding, Brady, which is hard, because then I'm finding that I got to find the people to explain it to the loan officers, is that a lot of the loan officers don't actually totally understand what their job is. They think they know what their job is, but they really need to sit down and investigate it, understand. They need to really know your job is not to sit on your ass and take inbound phone calls and pray for the phone to ring. That was never our jobs, ever. It was, literally the old school. Here's a desk, here's a phone, get out of my face, you're on your own. Leave. Why are you here? Why are you even in the office? You don't even need an office. Get out. You know what I mean? STP, see the people. You know what I mean? And email is almost dead. Texting is on its last breath. If you're not on the phone and physically in front of people, you're going to get a beat down. I see some of these people on this call now. I'm not going to call them out, that will give you a beat down. I can see them. They'll give you a beat down in your market, because they're going to go do that work. And you say to yourself, wow, why is that guy at an open house? He did 300 million last year. Exactly. Yep. That's why he's in an open house. He's not sitting and complaining. Brady, best way to find you, brady.yeager@movement.com.
That's it. Yep, you got it.
Okay, and Brady, we have one more question. It's a very important question. It came in from the field, came in hot. You might know this guy, you might not know him. He's this guy, his name's Sean Johnson. He just asked if you could be successful in this market and own a droid. That's all he wanted to know. He just wanted to ask that one question. By the way, everyone, Brady is a green texter. I'm just putting it out there. I'm outing him. He's a green texter.
Will never escape it. I got to switch over here.
Brady, thank you so much for your time. You got great nuggets in here. I love entitled, frozen, reverse, builder, servicing, annual reviews. Lots of good stuff in here. Everyone, thank you so much. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you guys.
See you later. Thank you, Brady.
Have a great one.